waaw réewi Gambia African Liberation Day, the continent of Africa. ne ma fàttali leen rek the Berlin Conference of 1884-1885 foofu la tubaab yi la toogoon di dagat Africa comme cake boy dog, scramble for Africa. Ben African toogu fa woon foofu la tubaab yi toogoon di dagat continent Africa comme cake. Kii na jëlal Gambia, kii na jëlal Sénégal, kii la jëlal Liberia, kii na jëlal Sierra Leone. Comme Gambia Sénégal rek benn réew la woon waaye colonialiste yi ñoo ko xaajaale ñi dagga fii nekk Sénégal fii nekk Gambia. am na jamono sax Gambia français yi ñoo ko amee woon ñu wecceeku ak British yi joo leen feneen ñoom ñu joo leen Gambia. Berlin Conference 1884-1885 ba pare balaa British yi balaa anglais yi ñu njëkk a colonize Gambia mooy di Portuguese moo tax gis ngeen Quadrangle fa liggéeykaay gi nguur gi nekk ndem ci yàlla si Mansour Ndiaye nekkoon radio Gambia moo ma ko wax mu ne foofu Portuguese yi ñoo ko build Quadrangle. It was built by the Portuguese, and Portugal was one of the poorest countries in Europe. How could they have colonies in Africa? My fellow Africans, Quadrangle Portuguese yi ñoo ko build réewi Gambia ba pare ku seet how Europe underdeveloped Africa by Walter Rodney, page 110. mu ñëwaan ne Portuguese yi bi ñëwee to the Senegambia, Portuguese yi dañ ñëwoon ak ay fas benn fas bu nekk dinañ ñu ko jox ñun ñu jox leen 15 slaves, one horse in exchange for 15 captives. Lolu is in How Europe Underdeveloped Africa, written by Walter Rodney, page 110. After the Portuguese took control of the Atlantic coast of Northeast Africa, they were able to secure horses, woolen goods and beans. They shipped further south of West Africa for gold and slaves. Up to the early 16th century, the most important brought by the Portuguese to trade in Senegambia was the horse. In exchange for one horse, they received as many as 15 slaves. North African woolens and beans were also utilized by the Portuguese in buying gold on the river Gambia as far as south of Sierra Leone, as stated by Walter Rodney in his book, How Europe Underdeveloped Africa, page 10, réewi Gambia. Pour ñu xam tam this historical evidence ne Portuguese yi ñoo njëkk a ñëw Gambia dañu not di fi jël ay nit di leen yóbbu di leen def jàmm ba nga xam ne dikkoon nañ fi sax ay fas dañuy jox benn fas ñu jox leen fukk ak juróomi jàmm réewi Gambia. moo tax ma ne foog ñu fàttaliku tam di Berlin Conference of 1884-1885. My fellow Africans, the struggle still continues Now it is in our hands to overcome our history, to break the shackles of the past, to redevelop ourselves, our people, our nation, our world, to find humane, creative, and fearless ways in dealing with those who presently oppose such development. Reactionary forces. The struggle must continue to liberate our people from abject poverty. My fellow Africans, let's control our resources for the interest of the African people. Let's create employment for the youth of Africa who are dying on this Bagwe saga, who are treated as slaves in Libyan jails. Tunisia the same thing, Algeria the same thing, Morocco the same thing, and slavery still exists in Mauritania. Because the black Mauritanians are treated like slaves. And they put in their heads that because they are black, they have to be slaves. No. As I said, we are black because we were the first light out of darkness. And we are black because we are Allah's creation. My fellow Gambians, my fellow Africans, the struggle continues all over Africa to liberate our people from abject poverty, to plow back the resources back to the people for the development of our nations, building of universities, provision of scholarships to the students to attend universities and colleges, creation of employment for the youths. My fellow Gambians, my fellow Africans, we must plow back the resources of the African continent for the benefit of the African people and not for the benefit of a few, and that is the African bourgeoisie or petty bourgeoisie at the expense of the Africans. The struggle continues. Thank you.